Muchos origamis, ¿eh?
House fire. Bad one. At least 4 Vicks. Get out there and find out what you can. The address is 650 North Hobart.
Venga, pues vamos a darle al episodio 2, que lo estoy grabando después de que me acaban de mentar la madre el jefe, que el episodio pasado, que se suponía que al que yo metí a la cárcel era inocente. No entendí nada de ese caso, banda, pero bueno, vamos a darle al siguiente episodio. Ya se... Calla, señor, hombre. Señora, cállese, hombre. El chiste es que vamos a darle entonces... ¡Oh, señora, qué pesada, ¿Por dónde es? Es por acá, ¿no? El caso ese ya fue, así que vamos a darle... Otro señor pesado, ¿no? Pero bueno, tenemos el siguiente caso, que lo que viene siendo se llama Paseo por Elysian Fields. Nuestro compañero Vix. Y vamos a leer lo que viene siendo el objetivo del caso. Incendios por fin resolvió 2 casos y esta es nuestra recompensa. Los 4 miembros de una familia muertos en un incendio en su casa de North Hobart Boulevard. No hay informes preliminares de Lynch y de los investigadores de los bomberos, por lo que podría ser un trágico accidente. Con lo que Vix y yo llevamos visto la semana pasada, buscaremos relaciones con el Fondo de Reconstrucción Residencial. Ya sabemos que eso el Fondo de Reconstrucción Residencial tiene algo que ver con los incendios, Lo que pasa es que yo no entendí el caso pasado, pero bueno. Así que nada, vamos a darle a lo que viene siendo... Vamos a ir a el incendio, obviamente, ¿no? Destino actual. Bueno, pues ya lo tenemos. Va a conducir el compañero, que por cierto, el episodio pasado tuvimos... bueno, este traje nos lo pusimos en el episodio pasado, pero este traje nos lo dieron en el episodio el último de Roy, ¿saben? Que está precioso este traje, Este traje es el segundo favorito. El primero es el blanco que conseguimos ayer, en el episodio pasado. Yo lo estoy como ayer, ¿sabes? Pero bueno, vamos para allá entonces.
You hear about Rancho Escondido?
Rancho
Are we having a
Escondido.
conversation, Biggs?
Okay, fuck it. Forget
I'm teasing you, Herschel. Tell me about it.
Ese Phelps.
Well, the new housing development's a couple of weeks from completion. Burned to the ground last night. GIs are ready to move in this weekend. Developer's gonna have some very angry customers.
Incendio, 11:48. Esta casa es más grande que las otras, Esta es de 2 pisos. Miniaturas, las miniaturas de ahora, Vamos para allá. Tenemos aquí este me cayó bien,
You guys better see this. I hope you have strong stomachs.
No me digas, porque no me gusta editar. En realidad sí me gusta, pero si supiera editar mejor.
Do you have a name? Morelli, Mike. We recovered a picture of the family.
Okay. Anything else?
La cara del Vix.
Best you talk to Lynch. He's the expert.
Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved.
Ooh.
I think someone moved them after the explosion and before the fire.
Can you explain that, please?
I'm almost positive the cause of death is asphyxiation due to gas inhalation. Look at the parts of their bodies that aren't scorched. The coloring around the fingertips is typical.
They wouldn't have felt a thing.
I think the fire damage is post-mortem. I think someone moved them into this room after the explosion.
It still doesn't make any sense. Why would you run into a burning building?
Nueva pista, cadáver movido, implicado, familia Morelli, lugar actualizado, incendio Morelli. Pues vamos a ver primero esto. Aquí se viene miniatura. No, esta no, como tal miniatura no, pero...
What are they doing?
The prayer effect is from the fire. Muscles and tendons contract.
Se contraen, dice. Pobrecitos, Otra familia, amigo.
Find anything interesting?
Se supone que eran ellos, ¿no?
You ever think about how many people have died in this world? And how big heaven would have to be to accommodate them bigs?
No, I have not. Show some respect.
It's our boy. I think he watches the fires. I think the Sawyer fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
We got the wrong guy.
That doesn't explain why he ran into a burning building. What would make anyone do that?
Guilt.
With the fires?
For his mistake. This guy wants to burn houses, not families. He expects the houses to be empty. He was trying to redeem himself. Probably thought they'd be happier together.
You are one very disturbed individual, Phelps. I know you had it rough lately, but you should start to compartmentalize your thoughts.
You could be right. Can you come up with an alternative explanation?
Sure, it's the same guy.
Are you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the whole family, and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might fit, Cole, but I don't think we could ever prove it. There's very little evidence.
Evidence?
Hasta a mí me dolió. Yo hubiera sido Vix, ¿eh?
Albert, check out the hot water system. Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
Sure, Phelps. I'll get back to you.
Leave the rest to us, Cole. You better find out what's eating the pigs.
Pues la misma moza que le picó al compañero Galloway, amigo. Pues vamos allá entonces, amigos. Aquí Phelps está diciendo que probablemente hay una persona que esté ocasionando todos los incendios, inclusive los del episodio pasado. Está pasando más o menos como cuando éramos en homicidios, ¿era? ¿Eran homicidios? Sí, eran homicidios que acuérdense que mataban a las víctimas y culpábamos a uno y al final era uno que mató a todos, ¿sabes? Y todos los que metimos al bote pues no eran lo que viene siendo eran inocentes, ¿sabes? Así que más o menos está pasando igual aquí, pero ahora aquí con los incendios y con las casas quemadas y todo eso, amigo. Pero pues también ha matado ya a 2 familias y hubiesen sido 3, pero la primera se salvó, ¿sabes? No tenemos así, como tal lo que viene siendo música de checar aquí la casa, pero vamos a echar un vistazo así de chill, rapidín, ¿sabes? Esto es una de béisbol. No creo que haya mucho, la verdad, así que vamos ya a ir a ver, espérate que aquí abajo hay algo, a echar un vistazo acá abajo y de ahí ya vamos a ver lo que viene siendo lo demás. A ver, vamos a echar un vistazo para acá. Nos manchamos el traje, que este es el traje que vamos a ocupar nada más el día de hoy ya. Bueno, en el episodio pasado y ya. Y de ahí nos ponemos el que nos conseguimos en la de militar. Y de ahí, para los últimos episodios ya.
This is the flashpoint. The heater detonated with enough force to expose the foundations.
Y de ahí ya nos ponemos el blanco que tanto quisimos y que por fin se nos hizo, amigo. Es el mazo este. Este es el del Buba, amigo. Es el que ocupa Buba en el DVD, amigo. Digo en el DVD porque es el que donde más se ocupa, ¿no? Que tengo unas ganas de jugar al Dead by Daylight, amigo. Pero es que si no jugaba hoy la Noire ya no podía jugar el domingo, o sea mañana. O sea, hoy es sábado, a día de hoy es sábado lo que estoy grabando. Pero de ahí ya no me va a dar chance de grabar hasta la otra semana, amigo. Pero ya no hay nada, así que vamos a lo que viene siendo. No, bueno, vamos a echar un vistazo a lo que viene siendo si hay un boiler o algo. ¿Sabes? Ha hecho un vistazo. Pues no, me puso cinemática, ¿Qué pasa con nuestro compañero? Este Big me cae bien.
Finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. Things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out. You're not gonna get this guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
You remember the list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around, work the neighbors, see what they know. I'll go across the street.
Okay, I'll try this side.
Yo me quedo en esta. Yo, ¿sabes? El gallazo que se me salió. Yo me quedo en esta. Y vamos. Pues vamos a hablar con el
You
vecino.
don't look like a fireman, son.
Vamos a echar el primer cuestionario del día.
LAPD, can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman,
Forman.
Dudley Foreman.
Venga, primer cuestionario. Ojos azul, pelo castaño, 50 años, vecino de la familia Morelli. Testigo del fuego de Morelli. A ver, pista. Bueno, a ver, pistas pues no tenemos, ¿no? De momento, mientras no me pongan todas las pistas que me pusieron en el episodio pasado, amigo, todo está bien. Cadáveres movidos, fotos de familia y el vecino, amigo. A ver, vamos a darle. Testigo.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
Ya empezamos, ¿eh? Poli malo.
You didn't like Morelli, did you?
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
Estamos teniendo lo mismo del episodio pasado, ¿eh? También.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. Then I find out they was still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
No lo sé, dice. Dice que no lo sabe. No sé si pone... no se le ve la cara de que me esté mintiendo, la verdad. Es que aquí la gente miente bien. Como en la vida real, ¿no?
You didn't enter yourself?
I'd already agreed to sell. The competition was an incentive for those who were still thinking about it.
Demoliciones
You
previstas.
said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. Their billboards, that Monroe character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
Bien, pues le aceptamos todas. Casualmente todos los que no quieren vender, a todos les explota la casa, ¿sabes? Así que obviamente aquí hay algo que pues, está ocurriendo, ¿sabes? Vamos a ver si hay un boiler. La cancioncita me sigue sonando, así que todavía tenemos pistas por aquí. Vamos a echar un vistazo alrededor de la casa, a ver si encontramos algo. Voy a hacer un corte porque estos episodios tienen pinta de que son muy largos, amigo. Pero muy largos. El boiler, amigo. Insta hit. Otra vez, amigo. Ficha de mantenimiento, fecha de realizar por fin. Dale.
Looks like the same model.
Reginald Malday. Y siga viendo la canción, Parece el mismo modelo. Uy, creo que tenemos aquí el periódico. Sí, venga, vamos a darle la siguiente historia, amigo. Vamos a ver. Arde complejo residencial. Los soldados furiosos al ver sus casas encendidas, amigo. Venga, vamos para allá.
How did you get my number, Ira?
At first, I didn't understand you, but now I do.
I'd like you to come back to the clinic.
I'm helping other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I'm not confused anymore, Doctor. I'm helping people be together.
This world is only temporary. We'll all be happier in heaven.
Why don't you tell me where you are and I can come to you? I think the fires should end now. They have served their purpose.
Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor. After the fires, everything will be beautiful and clean.
Everything will be erased. The world will be fresh and new.
I can see my purpose now, Doctor. And you help me to find it.
¿Será será ese el que ocasiona todos el que está ocasionando todos los incendios? Y otra vez el chingado doctor, amigo. Es increíble, 10 de 13, amigo. Nos quedan 13 periódicos y sigue la cancioncita, así que vamos a seguir buscando pruebas, amigo. Y manda, pues después de estar dando como 1000 vueltas a la casa, me volví a meter adentro de la casa a ver si me faltaba algo. No encontraba la pista, pues la cancioncita no se ha parado. Y ya me dio curiosidad y dije, me voy a quedar aquí un rato a ver si encuentro algo. Y al final me metí por acá, por atrás, de allá, hasta el fondo. Me vine hasta acá y dije, voy a checar la casa bien del vecino para ver si... O sea, no hasta allá, ¿no? Obviamente. Pero sí me di toda la vuelta por atrás de la casa y me vine hasta acá. Y ya cuando por fin me vine aquí, dije ya por si acaso, a lo mejor hubo algo en la explosión, ¿sabes? Que me llegó hasta acá. Me topé que hay aquí, supongo que estas son las últimas pistas que me tiene que sonar porque ya no hay nada, amigo. Llevo aquí como unos 8 minutos, ¿sabes? Dándole vueltas aquí, amigo. Y por fin encontré esto, vamos a ver qué carajos es. ¿Hay huellas?
Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
Hay huellas aquí y unas colillas de cigarro.
Someone was keeping watch. Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive.
Pues sí, lleva tiempo, porque hay como 1, 2, 3, 4 colillas, amigo. O es de que fuma y se echa otro, ¿sabes? Por fin, amigo, por fin se cayó esa maldita canción, loco. ¿Ya no tenemos nada que hablar con el señor este? Pues nos pone a hablar, así que supongo que hay más cosas, ¿no? Sí, mira. Aquí hay actividad sospechosa.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
No, pero tampoco tal. No sé si me está ocultando. Amigo. Vamos a ponerle poli malo.
You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, beat-up hat, and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Foreman.
Sure. Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those competition flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Ojo.
Any luck, Cole?
Couple of things. What did you pick up?
Hold a piece
Un
of paper.
origami.
Looks complicated.
Japanese call it origami. Can I take a look?
Sure.
Paper crane. There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Grulla de papel.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
Construir un California mejor. Dice, queremos comprarle hoy su antigua casa. Llámame Leland Monroe, promociones Elysian Fields. Este tiene que ver algo,
Elysian Fields Developments.
Este tiene que ver sí o sí, tiene que... ¿Sabes? Tiene que tener algo este, Vamos a ver qué nos entrega el compañero este.
Oh, I see you already have one.
Ah, pues es el mismo, amigo. Construir una California mejor. Queremos comprar su antigua casa. Tal. Promociones Elysian Fields. Y abajo dice win a trip.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
Venga. Pues nada. Pues vámonos entonces. Se nos acaba de marcar en el minimapa que tenemos que hablarle a archivo o a operadora, como sea. Así que vamos para allá entonces a hablarle y vamos a conseguir, supongo que...
This is a secure area. You all need to leave.
A saber qué onda, amigo. Operadora.
I need an address for a property developer. Elysian Fields Developments.
One moment, detective. The address is 748 North Oxford Avenue, Wilshire. Anything else?
Messages, please.
You have a message. Contact Captain McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course. Here you are.
Commander?
Leads on the Morelli fire.
We're about to go and visit Elysian Fields Developments.
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe. He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
El Monroe este...
Kelty has warned us off over Elysian.
Makes sense. It's a dead end. We should check out Rancho Escondido.
You know the place?
Sure. Corner of Fountain and Wilton. Let's go.
Pues el Monroe se supone que es amigo de todos, amigo. Es aquí el Jesucristo, ¿no? Y pues la comisaría, pues ya saben que es una pinche comisaría.
You're behind the wheel.
Todos son unos corruptos,
Where
¿sabes?
exactly are we going?
Pues vamos a Rancho Escondido entonces, amigo. Donde dice el compañero Vix. Vamos para allá y vamos a ver si hablan aquí. Supongo que sí van a hablar, ¿no?
Shame about Chuck. The arson desk has been trying to nail that son of a bitch for years.
He's still in custody, Herschel.
Wanna bet? Fella kicked him loose already. Can't hold him for misdemeanor cigarettes and matches.
Rancho Escondido, las 5.
There are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir.
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America, dickhead.
sir. Now step back, or I'll lock you up for
Smart
a fray.
mouth son of a bitch.
Toma.
You
Se armaron los trancazos, ¿eh?
Black and blue. We're gonna have to pacify these ass.
No, que no se pare, que no se pare. Ahí viene el otro, ahí viene el otro. Aquí me hubiera venido bien. Me hubiera venido bien el traje blanco, A dormir. Ni uno me tocó, Ni uno, amigo.
Good thing you showed up when you did, detectives. Those folks were baying for blood.
Okay then. Let's see if there's anything left to take a look at.
Se vinieron con todo, amigo. Al otro le reiniciaron el Windows rápido, Vamos a ver qué hay aquí entonces, amigo. Ya apareció el primer piano. Ojo. Que este me hubiera costado, Me hubiera costado encontrar este,
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal in a fire?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
Ojo. Ya se viene para abajo todo, amigo. Ah, pues era todo, amigo.
If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
Pues entonces si vamos a ir a ver a Elysian, pues vamos para allá entonces. Elysian Fields, las 5. Aquí nos va a tocar hacer supongo, ¿no? Lo más seguro es que nos toca hacer un interrogatorio al Monroe y este sí va a ser complicado,
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
Send them through.
Vamos para
And
allá.
that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
May I help you, gentlemen?
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked
Otra.
weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right to.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office.
Aquí está. Este señor tiene algo que ver, ¿eh? Tiene que ver sí o sí, pero como es del de... ¿Ya saben de dónde?
Cigar. Drink, boy.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs!
Está bonita la sala esta, ¿eh?
We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Elysian Monroe, ojos azul, pelo moreno, 52 años, presidente de promociones Elysian Fields. Vamos a ver las pistas, porque este va a estar difícil de lo que viene siendo agarrarle, ¿sabes? Aquí lo más seguro es que falle todas, amigo. Huellas de bota, colillas, folletos, Elysian Field. O a lo mejor y no, ¿eh? A lo mejor y lo estoy poniendo acá. Pero este tiene algo que ver, amigo, porque en el episodio pasado también. Compra de terrenos, fuego en rancho escondido, concurso de viajes promocional, relación de Elysian con incendios. Vamos a preguntarle compra de terrenos. Fuego rancho escondido. No, compra de terrenos.
Can we speed this up a little?
We've made offers to buy houses in areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their
Sí.
homes so that I can sell them new ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
Es que no sé si me está mintiendo, tiene los ojos chiquitos, amigo. Poli malo.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe that you would build a new development with one of those old piles smack bang in the center of it?
Progress is an inexorable process, detective. Those who choose to stand in defiance are usually confined to the wastebasket of history. To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see sense.
Bien, bien, bien.
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
Por medio de folletos, dice. Se está riendo, Es que no lo podemos acusar porque no tenemos nada hacia él, ¿sabes? Poli malo, ¿no? Supongo. Cadáver movido, foto de familia. Viaje, dice. El vecino declara que la familia Monroe había ganado un viaje de fin de semana. Es que aquí a lo mejor y es acusarlo, pero no sé qué meterle, ¿eh? No sé qué meterle, amigo. Explicación que hay que explicar. Busco compradores con los anuncios en radio, en las vallas y vendedores por medio de folletos. No se imagina la demanda inmobiliaria que hay. Busco compradores con los anuncios en radio y las vallas y vendedores. Poli malo.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecue, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
Bien, bien, bien.
What's Elysian Fields' involvement in Rancho Escondido?
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend. or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulation.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
Nuestros héroes se merecen lo mejor, dice. Cemento deficiente. Aquí lo vamos a acusar, ¿no? Muestra cemento deficiente, el edificio quemado, muestra pruebas de materiales de segunda y de construcción deficiente.
You're lying, Monroe. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friends. There's no way in hell you can prove that my
lo tenemos,
materials
lo
are
tenemos.
inferior.
Aquí va cemento deficiente, amigo.
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being used on those houses are undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings were inspected and fully insured by California Fire and Life. Investment of that magnitude demands it. Do you think they'd vouch for the buildings without examining them?
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Eso no me suena, dice. Viaje, dice. El vecino declara que la familia Monroe había ganado un viaje de fin de semana. Elysian Fields, for Elysian Fields. Mi empresa organiza muchas promociones. Esa no me suena, dice. ¿Qué sabe de un curso para familias con viajes gratuitos de Catalina Island? Vamos a ponerle poli malo, ¿no? Porque como tal creo que no tengo para acusarlo aquí, ¿eh?
2 families are dead, Mr. Monroe. This isn't a question of criminal liability. We're looking at conspiracy to commit murder.
You know who you're talking to, son. You want to use incendiary language like that with me?
La fallamos esta, ¿eh?
I suggest you should leave immediately.
Creo que tenemos que enseñarle el folleto.
You have any suspects?
We aren't at liberty to say.
I didn't think. The contractors I use for waybills. You suppose it could be any of them? I have a list of their names if it would be of any help.
That would be very helpful, Mr. Monroe.
Glad to hear it. I'm always happy to help the LAPD. My secretary will provide you with that list. Did you know that I'm on the board of the police pension fund?
Glad to be of help.
Lo amenazó. Bueno, no lo amenazó, sino que le dijo que está en el fondo de pensiones porque VIX recibe dinero de ahí.
What's the story? Any of these names ring a bell?
Elysian Fields, Los Ángeles, California, el Este, contacto, amigo. Joseph Bradley, Paul Jones, Ever Chapman, Mike. El Chapman no suena, ¿no? Chapman.
Herbert Chapman is on this list.
Será él nada más, ¿no?
We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
Sí, era el único que me sonaba, el Chapman, amigo. Vamos a buscar un teléfono entonces. Aquí no creo que nos los den, así y aparte no me aparece abajo en el... Ah, no, sí me aparece, amigo. Me aparece uno aquí, amigo. Aquí mere, ¿sabes? Aquí mere, amigo.
The boss is a fine man.
Aquí merengues. ¿Dónde está el teléfono? Aquí. No me gustaría hablar aquí porque me va a escuchar.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you check whether we are still holding a Herbert Chapman?
Let me find out for you. He was released this morning, Detective. I'm sorry, Detective.
Not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB on the guy?
Otra vez.
I'll get back to you, Detective. APB will go out over KGPL shortly.
Thanks for your help.
Acá está la novia de Phelps, o la amante. Y ahí está el Phelps también. Es que es increíble este Phelps, porque le vale gorro. Le vale gorro al Phelps, amigo. Oh, mira aquí viene, el desgraciado este, amigo. Pesado este, amigo. Pesado esto.
Buy me a drink, Cole? No. Not even for old time's sake? Not even for that. You're not gonna ask me why I'm here? I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it. She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save
about...
the threats for someone who cares about the boy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you. Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
I love you.
Hay algo ahí, eh?
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that company.
I have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
El corrupto, ¿eh? Apartamento de Elsa, 845. Claro, es que Phelps ya vive ahí.
The message about Monroe?
Yeah. Earl delivered it. You?
Kelty. Started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Virgil. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
El Dix me cae bien, ¿eh? Ya les digo yo que todos me caen bien menos el Roy, amigo. Es un pesado. Es el único que me caigo gordo. De
11K, go ahead.
11K, the last known address of suspect Chapman is 650 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
Investiga la residencia de Chapman. Vamos para allá, ¿verdad?
Sugarloaf, didn't you?
I did, but I don't like to talk about it.
You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
Jack Kelso.
You know Jack Kelso?
He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time. For some reason, seeing you makes me think of him.
Has Jack spoken to you about his experiences on Sugarloaf? Or the rest of the campaign?
Jack keeps stum just like you do. I know what it feels like to get back from conflict. You gotta respect that.
Venga, pues vamos para allá.
At least we'll know where we've been if we try to retrace our steps.
Ah, apartamento de Chapman, claro. 9:19 de la mañana, ¿no? ¿Cómo?
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah, he's out somewhere. There's some kind of problem.
Let's take a look at the car.
Echar un vistazo al carro, primero que nada.
See what he's hauling around.
Lleva folletos, obviamente, aquí. Construye un California mejor, bla, 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 bla. Ya, eso ya lo sabemos, ¿no? Pesados, ¿eh? Con ponerme lo mismo otra vez. Ahí está la oportunidad, dice el Phelps. Tenemos aquí también lo de los mosquitos. Tenemos munición de... repelente para mosquitos, rápida mosquito, tal. Acá con los genes y tal, tal. En cualquier parte, dice. Supongo que estará completa, ¿no? Sí.
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
Tenemos munición del punto 45 automática. Esto es de pistola, ¿no? Va armado, ¿eh? 50 cartuchos de precisión central sin humo. Munición del 45.
Should revise the APB.
Va armado.
He's clearly armed.
Pues ya es todo, ¿no?
Holy cow. There he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat.
Va a salir corriendo este desgraciado, ¿no?
Shit, he's seen us.
Cops. Again.
Ah, pues este pesado es el del episodio pasado también, amigo. Pesado.
Son of a bitch, he must have caught the trolley. We gotta move fast, Cole.
Este es el pesado que no lo vimos ayer.
I'll call
Que
this
también
in, get
teníamos que
some
haber
cars
interrogado.
dispatched. Car 11K calling KGPL.
Se está llevando todo, ¿eh?
11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar, currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously.
Roger, 11K. All units, officers need assistance on Melrose Avenue. A suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar headed eastbound. Approach with caution. Suspect is in control of the streetcar and driving dangerously. Units to handle code 3 identified.
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him.
No lo voy a perder, amigo. Tiene que estampar, ¿no? Supongo, porque pegarle al este es mala idea, ¿no? Supongo que sí, loco. No para, ¿eh? ¿Se estampará con esto? No. No creo que sea buena idea. Toma y se lleva el...
See if he can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down.
A ver si el compañero le quiere dar.
Step on it, huh? Get me just a little closer.
Acá ya le rompió. Ahí está.
End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole.
¿Dónde está el pesado este? ¿Va a salir corriendo o no?
Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
What are you talking about?
The fires benefit Elysian in some way. I don't see Chapman and Monroe working together.
You have a point. The evidence is good for Chapman. Hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
Terminó muriéndose el compañero este.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember. I couldn't be happier than to wipe him off the scoreboard. I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps? We'll be calling Richard Nixon a crook next.
El Phelps no quedó a gusto porque sabe que el que matamos ahorita no es el que está ocasionando todo, ¿no? Y Phelps sigue con lo mismo, amigo. Phelps está enamorado, amigo. Ya déjenlo en paz, ya, amigo, ya.
What is it?
Ya.
A letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elysian?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject this settlement. I want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
¿Se acuerdan de Jack?
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
Why would he help Miss Kelso?
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He's a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
Y aquí es cuando el compañero Jack Kelso va a entrar a la historia, banda. Acabó el episodio, la verdad es que me merezco 5 estrellas. Ahí está, 5 estrellas. Caso que la verdad muy corto, la verdad, y muy fácil, la verdad. Muy fácil, no como el episodio pasado. Me acaban de dar un logro, dice charlatán. En Elysian se llama listo que Monroy al hablar de su promoción y su compañía. Fuimos mejores que el Monroy. Yo pensé que íbamos a fallar todas con el señor ese, porque que es el pez gordo, se supone, de todo eso, del gobierno y todo eso. Pero le acertamos todas. No sé si la última la fallé, porque ya no vi. Pero en total no, sí, mira, preguntas correctas 7 de 8. Creo que fallamos la última de Monroy, ¿no? ¿Fue la última que fallamos? No sé, amigo, ya no me acuerdo. Pero bueno, acabamos de terminar el caso, 5 estrellas. Caso fácil, pistas encontradas, 13 de 13, más no, así no era, ¿verdad? 13 de 13, preguntas correctas, 7 de 8, fallamos una. Conducta, daños a vehículos, 59, heridas 0, daños a velocidad, 38. Notas del caso, Chapman se lleva su móvil y cualquier posible relación con Monroy y Elysian a la tumba. Como Phelps estaba diciendo, no creo que Chapman era el culpable de todo. Aquí hay algo que no está siendo resuelto y Phelps, como ya pasó con el otro Galloway, algo así parecido, por eso ya no se la come, ¿sabes? Por así decirlo. Chapman más que nada era un piromano que ya estaba cansado de que lo arrestaran, ya llevaba una pistola y al final se la llevó puesta, amigo. Ni modo, amigo, se murió y ya está, loco. Así que nada, acabamos de terminar el episodio 2. GG, vamos a ver que no creo que haya post este episodio, a ver. No lo hay, creo. No lo hay, banda, así que nos vemos en el próximo episodio 3 ya, amigo, no me lo puedo creer, Episodio 3, yo creo que son como 6 o 5, Eso sí, yo creo que ya se vienen más largos, Así que nada, GG.